So as promised, we're going to do a short meditation focusing on compassion. So what we're going to do is we're going to, focus on our breath and focus on how that feels as we go into our body. We're going to connect to the chair or whatever we're sitting on and the ground, and just feel how our body feels inside and how we feel as we connect to the ground, and just feel really secure, or make sure, see if we feel secure and safe in our where we're sitting. So it might be a good idea just to get yourself comfortable. I'm just going to move my cushion on my seat so I can kind of sit up properly. I'm sitting in a chair with my feet on the ground. I don't always, sometimes I sit on the couch with my legs crossed. And it's just really whatever feels comfortable. Sometimes helps to sit, not like you'd have to sit really rigid and upright, but just so that you're feeling comfortable, the air can flow and the energy can flow. And sometimes you might want to test this out when you're meditating, and just move around forwards, backwards, on your seat bones, and just sort of see where you can feel that energy moving around in your body, and the breath, because that kind of helps with it just helps with the flow of everything, really. Because if you're starting to breathe and starting to meditate, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I feel really uncomfortable, then you've got to adjust that. So sometimes it helps to do that before you start. And so we're going to start by closing our eyes. So I invite you to close your eyes and just take a moment to notice your breath. Just bring attention to your breath. It's always something we can come back to, because we're hopefully always breathing. And you can just start to bring awareness to whether that's coming in and out of your mouth, or your nose, or in through your mouth and out through your nose, or the other way around. And you could just notice if you feel that on your lips, or your nostrils, or your upper lip, and just how it feels. Is it warm, cold? Is it hot? Is it kind of coming in quite hard and fast, or is it quite gentle, slow? Is it shallow breathing, deep breathing? Just notice how it is, and it's really just about noticing and bringing awareness to it at this stage. I'm not asking you to change anything or do any special breathing. There's no special breathing in this meditation. Really, you just want to notice what's happening for you, because in this kind of presence practice, and when we're starting to be conscious about things, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to be conscious of what's happening in our body. We don't want to force anything. We don't want to make anything happen. We just want to be with what is for us. And that's kind of the beginning of where we want to get to with our inner journey, and our emotions and our blocks and things like that. We just want to notice them at first. We don't want to force anything. So we're just noticing our breath, and then we can just notice how far that's coming into our body at the moment. Is it staying very much in the kind of top half of our bodies? Is it in our throats and our neck? Can it so easily get stuck in this top half of our bodies, and without even realizing that we're not breathing into the rest of our body? But that's not a cue or an ask or a request for you to start breathing deeply into your belly. It's really just notice where that is. And if you want to move around a little bit to get that flow of breath and flow of energy moving a bit more. I've got a yawn. That's a really good sign in meditation, or it is for me anyway. Different people have different reactions, but that can mean that I'm coming out of fight and flight mode. My system's calming down a little bit. My voice also drops about an octave as well. It's another telltale sign for me. Just noticing if you can feel the breath coming into your body. Can you feel it coming into your chest? Is it going as far as your solar plexus, or is it blocked? Is it coming into your stomach, into your belly, maybe down into your hips and your pelvis, and then where your seat bones meet the chair or the platform you're sitting on, and if the backs of your legs are meeting that platform, and your feet. We'll just take a moment to feel into our feet. Just feel into the tops of our feet. Feel your toes. Are they connecting to the ground? And the underneath of your feet, the soles of your feet. Can you feel the ground underneath them? I'm just bringing awareness to them, and it's given me a nice sort of tingly feeling in my feet and my legs, but it could be different for everybody. Just notice, I'm describing it to give you an idea of the sorts of things you could be noticing or feeling for. And then let's just go back to the breath as it comes back in through our mouths, down our neck and down to our shoulders and our chest area. And just notice if there's any tightness or tension or blocks anywhere. I'm noticing a bit of tightness around my solar plexus area. I don't know what it's connected to. Again, as I bring awareness to it, there's a bit of a yawn, a bit of an energy release, or me coming into my system calming down, coming down into out of fight and flight and into the ventral system, if you know anything about polyvagal theory. And I'm just breathing. I'm not really trying to breathe any differently. And as I breathe, I'm just noticing that knot in my solar plexus. And I'm giving another yawn again. What I'm also going to do, what I would invite you to do, is if you found any blocks or tightness or tension, whether it's in your chest or your neck or your jaw, we hold a lot of tension in our jaw, or belly, or you might feel some energy moving in your belly, some emotions moving around as you bring attention to it. Whatever it is, whatever's going on, as you think about, pay attention to your breathing and pay attention to your body and how it's sitting on the chair and how the breath and the energy is flowing through your body. I know there's a lot to pay attention to, but we're going inwards and we're feeling what's going on in our bodies. And with that tightness or tension or movement or whatever's going on, just turn the corners of your mouth up and give yourself a really gentle, kind, loving smile. Soften your eyes under your closed eyelids. As if you were having a really compassionate conversation with a friend, and really loving, bringing some really loving energy to, someone special in your life. But instead of bringing it to someone else, you're bringing it to you, and you're bringing it to that feeling in your body. For me, I'm bringing it to that tightness in my solar plexus, which every time I mention it brings a yawn. I'm just going to allow that to happen and give myself a smile and let my eyes soften, and just really feeling the love for that place inside me. Not trying to change anything, just trying to be with it in the most gentle, kind way that I can possibly be. And I just feel my shoulders soften and feel myself really sinking into my seat and into the chair and into the connection with the earth. Just take a couple more breaths here while we're enjoying this lovely, smiling, kind, loving energy. And then we'll just bring our attention back to our breath, back to where we started. Just notice how it's coming in and out of our body, whether that's in and out through our mouths or our nose places. We can feel it on our lips or our top lips or our nostrils. Noticing if it's warm or cold or hot. Just noticing where that's coming into our body, if it's coming into our neck, down into our chest, further down into our stomachs, our belly, abdomen, hips, pelvis, and down to the seat. And then just feeling down our legs, down to where our feet meet the floor. See if you can feel your soles of your feet where they meet the floor, your toes, are they touching the floor? The sides of your feet, the tops of your feet. And then before we open our eyes, let's just give our toes and our fingers a bit of a wiggle. You might want to just shrug your shoulders and start to bring our consciousness back to the environment around us. And then just very slowly start to open our eyes. There, I hope that's given you the nice warm feeling in your tummy that I've now got in mine. I'm feeling very much more, back in myself, and like my system's calmed down quite a bit. If you haven't, doesn't matter. This is a great practice to practice. Great thing to learn how to do. Breathing is something you can do for 30 seconds or a minute or a few minutes, if ever you need to, and just learning how to pay attention to your breath, and if you wanted to go inwards inside your body and do that too, it can be a really nice way to help ground yourself. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.